Hey, New York. It's Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. We're coming your way.
For one night on April 17th, we are going to be hosting a meetup with you guys in New York.
Get more information by heading to our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, and click on the Eventbrite pop-up.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Hey guys, today I'm interviewing my cat about his perfect bistro food. Percy, you seem to be a big Perfect Bistro fan. Care to comment? Totally. What do you like about it? You love the high-quality ingredients? And the delicious flavors, of course. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Listen to Percy, guys. Visit perfectbistro.com to try it for your cat.
Welcome to Academia Unlocked, a special series from BookTok for BookTok, where we take one classic work and explore it through a 4-part literary journey, moving from understanding the text to deep analysis to cultural interpretation and finally to collective reader meaning. I'm Jack.
And I'm Amy, longtime friends, readers, and co-hosts. And between the two of us, we have over 13 years of academic literary training, including bachelor's in creative writing. Our goal with this series is to bring academic-level literary discussion into a space that feels accessible, thoughtful, and genuinely curious, without losing the depth that makes these works so enduring.
Academia Unlocked isn't just talking about books, it's about learning how to read, interpret, and question it in new ways. Think of this series as stepping into a guided seminar where we're exploring not only what a story says, but how and why it continues to resonate across time. Each book is broken into 4 episodes, each building on the last.
We are currently discussing Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Last week, we discussed Wuthering Heights as you would in a college seminar. This week, we're examining the portrayal of Wuthering Heights, various forms of media in movies and music.
So, for the people listening and potentially watching, we are back to recording together again, and we're doing this on a TikTok live. Whether it looks like no one's watching, we're great.
Yeah,
we're fine. If for whatever reason you hear us talking to anyone, it's because we're talking to people on TikTok. Luckily for us, no one's there.
No.
So let's get in. We prepared heavily for this episode.
We did. And by heavily, we watched a lot of adaptations of Wuthering Heights.
There are so many adaptations of Wuthering Heights.
We did not get to all of them. There are too many.
I didn't even know there were this many adaptations.
It's, when they market it as the greatest love story ever told, I think they got it wrong. And I think they're all trying to outdo each other.
So
by convincing us it is the best.
When saying that it's the Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi, that's the one that started it with, or not started, but that's
even the Laurence Olivier.
That's how they marketed it?
Started as
the greatest love story ever told.
Yeah.
So the reason why we chose Wuthering Heights is because of the Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie one. And it was back in October. I remember I sent it to you and was like, get a load of this. They're calling this the greatest love story ever told. And our reactions were like, the hell? And everyone has an opinion on it, especially movie adaptations. And we're here to talk about it. So let's talk about core objectives for this episode. It's about, we want you to understand how stories transform when they're told through different media and different interpretations, and the fact that each version of Wuthering Heights, the creators, the actors, the directors are going to focus on different aspects of what Wuthering Heights, quote unquote, is really about.
We're going to kind of break this down in the following way. We're going to talk about meta reflection. When we say meta, we mean meta fictional, right? Yeah. My brain. It is 8:30 on Saturday evening.
Don't tell them that. We have plans. We have a life. That's it's 8 a.m. because we go out on Saturday nights.
We're talking about meta reflection. So how
aware
of itself it is.
Yeah.
So how the adaptation is aware of itself as an adaptation, which is kind of a trippy thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
We will then talk about comparative interpretation between the various versions, and finally, media literacy. So to help kind of ground us, we're going to start with a guiding question. And that is, if Wuthering Heights is a novel about obsession, identity, and emotional extremity, why do so many adaptations reshape the story into a tragic romance? And what happens when a psychologically complex novel moves from the page to the screen, and in some cases, into music?
And 2 fantastic music videos. So the comparative adaptation triangle, this is going to be like something that we're going to be focusing on. And surprisingly, you're going to think of it as a triangle. So the first part is fidelity to the text, the medium constraints, meaning what is limited through that form of media, and then the cultural moment. So let's talk about the fidelity of the text. That's essentially how faithful is it to the text? What are the key concepts from Wuthering Heights that is often taken into movie adaptations? The first one, moral ambiguity. Debatable on which ones play into that. I mean, I think that's like one, as we talked about in previous episodes, the moral ambiguity of these characters, the fact that they're all morally great, is one of the most key components of the novel. So how do the movies play with that?
Right.
Into it. Also, character complexity. I think that's going to be a good one because I feel like that's one of the hardest ones for the movies to actually get right. And trying to understand Heathcliff, Kathy, Catherine, Hareton, Linton. Like, it's such a rich cast of characters of just absolute tragedy. And is their complexity able to be transferred to the screen? And then finally, one of the other huge ones is the narrative structure. This is something that is so important and vital to the text, but is that important and vital to the screen?
Right. And it's crazy how on all 3 of these things, this one side of the triangle, they're all so different.
So freaking different.
We then get into the second part of the triangle, which is medium constraints, by which we mean what about having a movie or a TV show constrains the story. Now, some things to take into consideration are runtimes, right? So film runtimes and what was standard for that era versus a TV serialization, meaning how many episodes is it? Is it a long series, a mini series, etc., versus, in Kate Bush's case, a 3-minute, 45-second song. Then we also have the visual storytelling component. There is a lot of components of the original text that are very visual, and that is something that is beneficial to the screen, but does it in the process take away from the internal narration or some of the internal complexities of these characters?
I'm excited. All these are such great questions.
Yeah.
And now to the last part of the triangle, and that's the cultural moment. Amy and I have watched many of Wuthering Heights adaptations, all filmed in different time periods. And the audience expectations is one of the biggest things. What is the audience expecting when they're watching this? What is trending at that time? And each movie and each adaptation, miniseries, whatever you want to say, music video is targeted towards that audience in that time period. And then genre trends. My God, it is, having watched a lot of Wuthering Heights adaptations in a short amount of time, the hair alone is phenomenal. And so, like, what are the things that come in during that time, the trending elements into that adaptation, like transatlantic accents? Also, the social values at the time of production. When you think about the Laurence Olivier and when that was filmed in 1939 versus what just came out with Wuthering Heights
and Margot Robbie
in 2026.
Very different
social values. Very different social values. We're going to come back to that triangle, but we're going to put a pause on that and get into segment 1.
So we start with this idea of classics becoming media. We see it happen over and over again throughout. Angel says, I'm on the way to go watch it at the movie theater.
Oh,
Enjoy. So one of the things that we see throughout modern media is this desire to create and recreate stories that are beloved. And sometimes it's because it's just such a good story, or a new director has a better vision, or we have better techniques in filming, or quite frankly, the last one was bad. Like, there are so many different ways you can go about this.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Wuthering Heights is a really, really popular classic to retell. Are adaptations retellings, or are they interpretations?
That is one of those words that is so freaking debatable because I've gotten into this conversation with friends before quite a bit of just like, talking about the Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie, just like, oh, well, this is why that can never be Wuthering Heights. And she was like, well, it's an interpretation. It's like, oh yeah, like, isn't every single thing an interpretation? Not really. Some can be retelling. So that is a key difference. Interpretation, I know I might be saying this and it might sound dumb, but an interpretation is open. It's however they want to adapt it. It's that them taking key elements from the story and wanting to portray it in a way that is how they desire. Versus a retelling is trying to stick to the text as much as possible.
Right. So when people talk about taking creative liberties, adaptations are taking creative liberties because they're interpreting the original text in a culturally relevant way, in a modern way, etc., versus trying to keep the integrity of the text and doing a true retelling. Now, we have to think about our modern audience. And I think you can see how in the 1939 version of Wuthering Heights versus 2026 version, there's always been a focus on romance. Romance sells. And the more modern you become, modern romance is replaced with sex.
Yeah.
But the underlying theme is connection, right? Love, whether it be emotional or physical, between two characters. And unfortunately, that gets really simplified.
Yeah.
In movies when you take a book that's condensed to 1.5, 2 hours.
I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm going to say it. The reason why there hasn't been a quote unquote successful retelling of Wuthering Heights is because every single movie, show, retelling has only focused on the love. They portray it as love.
Yep.
And I think that when you go into the text, it's really clearly not about love. It's about obsession. It's about the loss of identity. And it's so funny because these movies will say the words, right? Like they'll say, I am Heathcliff. Whatever souls are made of, ours are the same. Like they use these words that are powerful, but miss the point entirely. Because then they come back and they're just like, oh my God, this is a love story. And I don't know if a movie can accurately portray the obsession. I think they can, but as of now, any of the few of the dozens that are out there, there hasn't been. No, they've always, now some degree, it's like more toxic love and more romantic love, but at the end of the day, it's love and not obsession. So that's one of my key takeaways is why you will never have a successful Wuthering Heights until they remove the love. Hold your hot takes. We'll be right back. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
When I think of spring break, I think of Jack and I senior year Las Vegas. You know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but what doesn't stay in Vegas is the hydration our body needs no matter what.
If there's anything that I needed from that trip, it's Liquid IV. And now that I'm older, I really need Liquid IV after going out. I drink Liquid IV's sugar-free hydration multiplier all the time. I'm not even exaggerating.
Liquid IV's hydration multiplier hydrates me better than water alone.
If you're going to Coachella or any music festival, this is the perfect thing to put in your purse because only one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates faster than water alone. It's powered by LIV, Hydroscience, and an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration.
Compared to water, Liquid IV delivers longer lasting hydration duration and retains hydration for up to 4 hours. It's backed by a scientific advisory board with world-renowned researchers to conduct clinical research trials.
And for our vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free girlies, this is perfect for you.
It's always non-GMO and has delicious sugar-free options like mandarin orange, rainbow sherbet, my favorite, mango pineapple, and more.
Soak up unforgettable memories with on-the-go hydration from Liquid IV. Tear pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first purchase with code BookTok at checkout.
That's 20% off your first purchase with code BookTalk, BookTalk, at liquidiv.com. And culturally, that's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
That's not the type of media that sells in this genre because it looks like a romance. And as we've discussed in our previous 2 episodes, Emily Bronte wrote this book to challenge Victorian understanding, Victorian society's understanding of what romance, what love is.
Yeah. You're better off trying to sell a love story than you are trying to sell a psychological
thriller.
And it's like, and that's the other thing is like, it's so not thrilling.
No, it's
There's
not.
no climax. Like, that's the other thing with this book is that it really just trickles. Like, the whole thing just kind of
moves along.
Yeah. Like, the way that Kathy dies is more climactic than the way that Heathcliff dies. But it just also kind of happens. You know what I mean? Like, there's no big dramatic moment. There's no epic scene. So when Heathcliff goes, he goes. And a lot of these movies portray them as him, I need to say it because we're on TikTok, self-eliminating.
Like he opts out.
Yeah. Oh, good job.
He opts out of life.
Yeah. He selectively chooses. And that's not the case. Like,
no, he does not.
He just kind of wither away and dies the same way that Kathy did. And like, they have to come up with these ways to make it more interesting. Otherwise, it's like Lockwood literally leaves for 3 months, comes back, and is like, oh, wow, things have changed.
Yeah.
Kathy, you single? What's up?
Now, one of the things that I think really bothered some viewing audiences with the latest release of Wuthering Heights that was produced by Margot Robbie is this idea that it's not accurate. It does not keep true to the text. And it got a lot of crap for it. You know, I didn't go back and read reviews of the older movies. To some extent, that's got to be pretty consistent, right? This is a beloved book. This is a studied book. A lot of these movie adaptations of this book do not stay true to the text.
Yeah.
So when we think about adaptations, when we think about interpretations, we need to stop asking, is this accurate? Is this true to what was written? And we need to start asking ourselves, what is this interpretation trying to achieve?
Yeah.
Because the interpretation is trying to send a message.
So with the Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi one, the director, can't remember her name. The fact that I remembered Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie is
director
phenomenal.
Or screenwriter?
Whatever her name is.
Chloe Gong
Yeah.
is the director.
Is she? Who's
And
the
then
screenwriter?
Emerald something.
One of them, when she wrote it, said, I wrote this the way that 14-year-old me would have wanted it to be done. And she said that it was a feral 14-year-old interpretation.
That is an excellent description of
And
it.
it is. Like, that's the thing. And I was talking about it with my roommate, and she was saying, like, there's so much of media that's 14-year-old, a feral 14-year-old interpretation.
Yep.
And, like, we should have more horny women interpretation.
Yeah.
All of that is well and fine. Did it have to be Wuthering Heights? And it's one of those moments where I am all for an adaptation that brings in that feral 14-year-old girl that just like wants them to get together, right? Like, but do that with like Phantom of the Opera. To do that with a book that deals so much with race, that deals so much with trauma, I feel like to do that to a book that means you're going to remove all of these heavier, more important things.
Yeah.
I think we should have more feral 14-year-old girl movies and interpretations. Did it have to be this one?
Right. Well,
we liked the movie.
I liked the movie. It could have also been with a person of color.
Yeah.
And it would have been just as feral.
Yeah.
And maybe eked over a little bit into being a little more true to the text.
I mean, and that's the thing, right? Is that she made a choice and I love Jacob Elordi, but she made a choice to not cast a man of color
Mm-hmm.
because it's meant to answer her feral
Mm-hmm.
teenage dreams. And that's like,
And she's a white woman.
and it's like, couldn't you have been feral for, all you had to do was just cast a person of color and you could, and it would still be a feral.
Mm-hmm.
But to disregard the race aspect was uncool. Like,
Yep.
that's the thing where it's like, you're saying that the things that don't matter, like, this is one of those things that doesn't matter. And it's like, but it still could, it still should, especially when Bronte's father had connections to abolitionists. Did I say that right?
Yeah, he was an abolitionist.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I said it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It's important. It matters. Again, that being said, it was a great feral 14-year-old fan fiction.
It was. It was. And, you know, as an interpretation, there are some really amazing things that I do think it accomplishes in its storytelling. And that's the case, I think, for each version of the story of the movies. Each one accomplishes something that the other one didn't.
It's so true.
And it's hard to pick a worst one because they all have different strengths.
Yeah, I don't think a true adaptation would be interesting. I don't think that a true Wuthering Heights adaptation would ever be good.
That kept the integrity of the actual literature.
If you were to try to make it as close of an adaptation, as close as a true two-book, I think it's it's difficult to capture the obsession, and two, it wouldn't be interesting because half of it is like the creepy, uncomfy vibes.
Right.
And I think you kind of miss that in the movies.
Yeah. So why don't we, if you're into it, we can take our time talking about each of the adaptations we looked at and then go through these questions. We can either answer one question at a time and address each adaptation, or pick an adaptation, go through all the questions.
Let's go through the questions and then we choose the adaptations we want to talk about.
Sure.
First, let's talk about all the adaptations.
All right. So
Margot Robbie.
So we did watch 2026, Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi.
Together.
Wuthering Heights. It did have quotation marks.
Laurence Olivier.
We did just watch the Laurence Olivier 1939.
Ralph Fiennes.
1992.
I also watched the 2006 Tom Hardy miniseries and the 2002 MTV special.
Was it a movie
musical?
A musical?
A musical movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Revolutionary, honestly.
Wow.
Ahead of its time. Start with Katherine Heigl.
What year was it again?
2002.
Wow.
I know.
There's a lot. And then we have Kate Bush's song, Wuthering Heights.
And then there was another one, and I can't remember. I think it was like a more recent one. I started watching it. It was the only one that had a man of color.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, look at that. And then that one was actually like, maybe I'll go back to it. I'm a little Wuthering Heights out, but it was actually, they got the dark and creepy part.
Oh.
But they were throwing around the N-word far more than I was like, that's not in the book.
Yeah,
that's not in the book. You do not need to be doing that. That was an unnecessary. I get it, but I'm also like, I don't like it. That wasn't in, like, why add it?
Yeah. I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
All right. So,
which triangle corner dominates? So back to the triangles. That's fidelity to the text, medium, and cultural moments. Which one would you like to look at?
So let's start with 1992, Ralph Fiennes, fidelity to the text, because that is that one is the one that attempted the second generation.
That you saw. Because Tom Hardy one did too.
It did.
It was the Tom Hardy one is a 2-part series, both an hour long-ish, and they both went for the second generation. I think when you have to ask about a movie adaptation, the first thing to ask for how like related to the text is does it have Gen 2?
Yeah, does it have Generation 2? And there are so many adaptations that avoid Generation number 2, which is so important to the themes of the book.
No. And that's the other thing. You get rid of it. You just got rid of the book.
Right. And that's when you're focusing on telling a love story.
Yeah.
There's no point telling Generation number 2.
I think that's one of the best ways of saying that is if the movie adaptation does not include Gen 2, then it's the toss-up. It's like flat out like, okay, we're going to make this a love story when it's like, that's not that.
It's not
a love story. Yeah, that's a good point. Character complexity. I actually thought Margot Robbie did a pretty good Kathy.
I think she did a great Kathy.
There were times where I was like, oh, this is Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
I think she portrayed the petulant Kathy, like very immature, very petulant, get her own way Kathy, like one of the best ones that I'd seen.
Yeah. And we can dive into how each Catherine is portrayed
Oh, right.
a little bit later.
Oh, yeah. I missed that.
No, that's okay. We're trying to identify one thing you said when we first started watching the Laurence Olivier was you're like, it's funny how like the times influenced the movie. Like they're all speaking in a transatlantic accent, even though they're supposed to be in Yorkshire.
Yeah. Also for every single movie, the fashion of the times.
Yeah.
The 1992 Ralph Fiennes was hilarious because all the women had like the really aggressive late 80s, early 90s bangs. And even with the Laurence Olivier, they had like the scarves, the clothing. It's very much portrayed for the time. It was funny.
It was.
Or
if you, in the Margot Robbie version, there was no attempt to be historically accurate in clothing.
Yeah.
It was just whatever they felt like visually represented the character.
Also, some of the constraints is whether it's a movie or a series.
Right.
You know, if it's a movie, good luck getting Gen 2.
Right.
If it's a series,
you've got more space.
You've got more space. You have more time. It was like, like an hour and a half into Margot Robbie where I was like, I don't think we're going to get Gen 2. Like, I was like almost 2 hours in. I'm like, is she just going to die? Yeah. That was shocking to me.
You know, I think not only if we don't get Gen 2, you know, focus on the love story, but I think one of the benefits of not getting generation number 2 is being able to explore the complexity of Heathcliff and Cathy.
Yeah.
Which is what I think the 2026 version was able to accomplish.
If the complexity meant love, yes.
Fair.
If complexity of their relationship equals love, then sure.
Okay, wait. Before we spiral, ads. I'm preparing to get married, which means I'm thinking a lot about what it means to merge finances. And I think I'm going with Chime.
Chime isn't just another banking app. They unlock smarter banking for everyday people with products like MyPay, giving you access to up to $500 of your paycheck anytime and getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Some of these old banks still don't do this.
We're at Romantasy BookCon, and I don't get paid for another 2 days. I could really use Chime right now.
I don't get paid for another 2 days, too. I'm really sad it's not stopping me from buying everything, but it is also making me want to switch to Chime.
Because they don't have overdraft fees, minimum balance fees, or monthly fees.
You can also earn up to 3% APY on savings. That's 7 times higher than a traditional bank.
It's also rated 5 stars by USA Today for customer service because they have real humans 24/7.
And with the Chime card, it's the new way to build credit history with your own money and get rewarded every single day.
There's no annual fees, no interest, and no strings attached. Who can resist that?
Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today.
It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head to chime.com/booktalk. That's chime.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/fees info. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.
So what themes are emphasized in all of the variations that we watched?
So let's pick a variation and talk about themes.
Margot Robbie.
Let's start with Laurence Olivier.
Okay.
We just watched that one.
Themes. Close-ups.
Close-ups. That was definitely a technical, trend of the time.
No, I know. I think the themes were love, right? Like, that's
Right.
another one of their relationship is love, particularly focusing on the devotion from Heathcliff.
Yes.
Because you can tell a lot about an adaptation depending on who's more devoted.
Yeah.
Heathcliff or Cathy.
Yeah.
And what I find, I'll say it, a little sickening. Every variation has Heathcliff more in love with Kathy
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when Kathy's literally the one who willed herself to die
Right. Right.
first.
Yeah.
He's a coward. He waited.
Yeah. And you know what? We may end up like combining all these. I think another theme to kind of dovetail off of that, where Heathcliff is the devoted one, Kathy's capricious.
Yeah.
It really leaned into her character of her kind of willfulness, her wildness,
Mm-hmm.
which made her seem almost opportunistic.
Yeah. Flippant.
Yeah.
Very unwavering, like it's opportunistic, whatever is best and most convenient for her.
Yeah.
When in actuality, she's a young woman who has to genuinely examine her life choices. And I think with Bronte and with the book, the fact that Catherine chose Linton showed that she made the right choice compared to Isabella choosing Heathcliff.
And by Linton, you mean Edgar.
Edgar. Yeah, Edgar. Like, right? Am I wrong? Like,
Yeah. Heathcliff's son is named Linton, so I just... Yeah.
Okay, so Catherine choosing Edgar is, I feel like it's Bronte showed you, she made the right choice.
Yeah.
Isabella chose Heathcliff.
Right.
And even though Heathcliff didn't love Isabella and like married her literally just to torture and to have scheming plans, Catherine knew on a level that Heathcliff wasn't it.
Right. However, you know what? One thing that comes across, and I actually don't like this in the 1939 version, although Catherine picks correctly and Isabella picks incorrectly, per se, they both choose out of spite.
Yeah.
Right? Catherine chooses Edgar out of spite towards Heathcliff. Isabella chooses Heathcliff out of spite towards Catherine.
Yeah.
Which is such an unfeminist thing, right? And it's, of course, created by men in the 1939. So it's not going to be very pro-women.
Yeah. Shocking.
And then for Catherine to also choose to die, right, makes it seem like women don't know what's good for them, because Laurence Olivier's character, Heathcliff, is never really painted as bad.
No.
Never.
Very rarely. I mean, he does slap her around, and even then we don't feel...
He feels so much guilt, he runs away.
I know. He's like, I can't believe... He's like, I shouldn't have done that. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
Heathcliff would never say that to himself.
No, he was like, yeah, I did it. Crap, what were you saying? That just the late time, I'm like, yeah, my brain. Oh, okay. I'm going to stretch my leg because it's now completely numb. I need to switch butt cheeks. Okay. So here is something that not a single one of these adaptations that I have seen portrays correctly, is the fact that Catherine knew Edgar for years. They were childhood friends for years. That is not someone who is opportunistic.
Right.
I mean, to a degree, yes. But at the same time, she is very much someone who knew this man, who knew him very much inside and out. Yeah. She had kind of bullied him over the years, and he still stuck around. And no one's giving her credit.
Yeah. Eve says, hey, y'all, I just watched this movie last night. Can't wait for your episodes on this.
Yeah. You can listen now as we're recording the episode. Yeah, but like, it's one of those things where I think that if any movie were to have shown that relationship that she does build with Edgar over the years, it then lessens her as the villain.
Right. Lessens her as the villain and lessens Edgar as a villain.
Yeah.
As the antagonist to Heathcliff, right? Heathcliff, at the end of the day, in many ways is the White Knight.
Yes.
And that's one of the other things about the 1939 version, is that Catherine as a child, tells Heathcliff everything she wants him to do.
Yeah.
Take me away. Come back rich and take me away.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. He goes and does those things.
He leaves her. He never tells her, I'm off to go do these things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he does go do those things. And
it's painted as romantic.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you kind of have it. The sentiment could be, if she had just waited. The sentiment could be, oh my God, if she had just given it a few, because I think he's gone for 3 years. And it's like, if she had just waited those 3 years, then like she could be with him. The other thing that no one wants to remember is the fact that he did leave.
Yeah.
He's the first to have left. And then when he comes back, he blames her for saying, you're the one who's choosing this. You're breaking my heart. You're doing this to me. When also, equal opportunity, she blamed both men.
She did.
It was never just, oh, Heathcliff, you're the one killing me. It's about, like, both of these guys have broken her heart because she loves Edgar too.
Yeah.
And Heathcliff can't understand that because Edgar doesn't hit her.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about the 1939 is there is no love. It doesn't come across as love between Catherine and Edgar.
I haven't seen any adaptations where it's love between them.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And just because Catherine says, my time will change my love for him, Catherine doesn't necessarily say, I'm going to stop loving him. It's like,
Right.
It will change. It's not as enduring as the other one. If I wanted to play this game, why won't we? She chose the man who could grow and adapt. She says, she is Heathcliff. This is there's no growth there. There is no changing. You are doubling down on who you are, and that's not healthy.
Yeah. So what are some other themes that you saw in the various versions that you watched?
Tom Hardy one, his lips. He's a very lip-forward actor.
Yeah. There's some mouth actors like Keira Knightley.
Yeah. So I think for the Tom Hardy one and the themes, it actually leaned into Heathcliff's madness a bit more.
Oh, interesting. In his old age or throughout?
Throughout.
Okay.
I would give the Tom Hardy credit. Now, he's still portrayed as he's so in love with her. He's so obsessed with her and all these things. But at the same time, he is a little bit more unhinged throughout the whole thing. He kind of has he could go off on at any moment. So I did like that one.
Yeah.
I think one of the themes on that one was hairpin trigger, anything can change at any given moment.
Yeah.
I love being in the room where it happens. That's funny. Oh, Eve said earlier, they could have just communicated.
Really?
They really could have.
They really could have.
Yeah.
Maybe wait until the conversation's over before you run away.
I know. Discussing themes.
That's AI summary.
Oh. I was like, someone has such a great point. Yeah. Never mind.
And so Wuthering Heights with Jacob Elordi, I was going to call her Emily Bronte, Margot Robbie themes. So I do want to talk about her red cloak at some point and the use of the color red.
I mean, I hope we don't get flagged, but sex is a huge theme. That is the theme.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think the latest version of Wuthering Heights actually did really, really well was not only using weather to portray, the wildness of the moors and the wildness of Cathy and Heathcliff, but also the use of clothing and Catherine's hair to portray her, conforming to society, which visually, I will give it credit. It's the most compelling version of Wuthering Heights.
Even the Wuthering Heights is her hair. Right. In the very beginning.
Yep.
And even scenes like the fact that the wallpaper is her skin. And they actually mapped out her skin to make that wallpaper.
Yeah.
What I feel like is another great thing that movie did was the way that Catherine is put on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Isabella and Edgar dote on her.
Which is true to the book.
Very true to the book. They're obsessed with her. Isabella treats her like a doll. That's all very true. Granted, they make it times 10, but
right.
It's that's actually that's a fairly accurate portrayal. And visually, it was great. I think they did a fantastic job with all the visualizations. And the fact that again, I hope we don't get flagged, but the fact that sex is such a big thing, the first noise you hear is a creaking. And you think it's a bed creaking, and then you realize it's a man who is hanging. And then they're pointing out his erection. And, these are the things where you're it's just kind of funny where it's okay, so we're going heavy on this.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into the feral 14-year-old girl, in a way that kind of interests the fascination. I'm not a movie person. I don't necessarily understand cinematography. I'm much more better with books. I can tell you the symbolism here. For me, the overt sex did not do anything to the story other than that's a movie that has a bunch of sex. Yeah. And not that that's not a good enough reason. I mean, I'm not going to be mad at it. But the fact that you're introducing this to the story, the fact that you're bringing in this element that wasn't there in the book, what's the point of it? And what are you doing with it? Yeah. I am not a movie interpreter. I don't do a movie analysis. So I'm sure there is a reason. I don't want to diminish a female screenwriter, director, just to be you're doing it just for shock value. It's maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. So from my perspective, it's a way to explain the unhinged, it's obsession, but the lengths to which Catherine and Heathcliff are willing to go against society to be together, right? Because that's part of it, right? That's part of their tragic love stories. They can't conform to society and be together.
Yeah.
They have to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
And so Catherine doesn't really understand her feelings towards Heathcliff until she witnesses other people having sex.
Yeah.
And then she starts to explore her own sexuality.
Yeah.
And that introduces Heathcliff's, like, he feels like a door's been opened. And that opens a door for her that she then tries to back out of.
I wonder if there is one of the themes for that is men thinking that they have automatic access once the door's been open once. Like the entitlement to it.
Yeah.
I would need to watch the movie again. I would need to look at it. I don't think that's one of the themes. I mean, I don't know. Would you say, I guess Edgar and Heathcliff in the Margot Robbie interpretation both kind of felt like they were entitled.
Yeah. And I think.
And that's probably like a theme in the book in general, if I were to.
Right. They're both entitled to her as property.
Yeah.
One of the other things that really sticks with me is when there's a montage of Catherine and Edgar living, through the years.
Yeah.
While Heathcliff is gone. There's one scene where Catherine has Edgar hold her face.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The same way that Heathcliff held her face the first time she saw someone having intercourse.
Yeah.
And it's like Catherine was trying to have the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Right? She was trying to bring what she saw in Heathcliff into her nice little bubble of society.
Yeah.
And it wasn't enough for her. So that's another thing I just wanted to add.
No, I'm happy you did. You did great. So what disappeared? The themes, generational trauma,
right?
Racism,
right? I think also the moral ambiguity of Heathcliff in most of them.
And even the Tom Hardy one, in every single one.
Right, because even in the 2026 one, it still tries to, Heathcliff is not entirely bad. I saw it as it was happening in the moment of how they were making him still innocent in like Isabella's kidnapping.
Anything that in the book Heathcliff does wrong, it's justified and he's saved in the 2026. And that actually like irritated me because he is the most saved out of every variation with this one.
Yeah.
Because even his treatment of Isabella is then justified because she likes it. Because there's nothing that he can do that is depraved. He asks for consent at every step of the way. And even in the Laurence Olivier, like all the other ones where they still don't go hard enough on Heathcliff, they at least still have him treating her like crap. You know what I mean? Like there's still these moments of unforgivable moments, right? Every unforgivable thing that Heathcliff does that they kind of portray, they take it away.
Yeah.
Like every single one, they find an excuse. She finds a reason to fix him.
Right.
And I think that's one of the worst. It's at that point, just call it a different movie.
Right. So what are we talking about? So we're talking about Heathcliff doesn't kill Isabella's dog.
He tries to. He doesn't succeed.
They just locked. Are we talking about the movie or the book?
The book.
Okay, I'm talking about the movie. They don't even try to hang the dog.
Oh,
in the movie.
Yeah.
The dog is just locked in the bedroom.
Yes, correct. In the book, he hangs the dog from a tree to die.
Yeah, because it's yappy.
And it's meant as foreshadowing for Isabella. But you're right. Even in the movie, like the big, bad, horrible thing he did with the dog was locking in the bedroom.
Yeah, so it peed and pooped on the ground.
And like, why even have the dog? Because like you're trying to do that as a nod to the original text. And it's just like, what are you doing here? TJ says, this is so wild to listen to as someone who's never read the book.
The book is so different. As Jack said, asks Isabella for consent.
Doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Isabella in the movie is kinky.
That is so not.
And that is not Isabella.
It also takes away the fact that Isabella is a domestic abuse survivor.
Yeah.
In the book, she gets away from Heathcliff. She leaves it all. She goes to London and she raises her son on her own.
Right.
For the first 12 years of his life. As a single mother in London in society. That's incredible.
Right.
She got out. She did it.
And not with Edgar's help. Edgar still disowned her.
Completely.
And never helped her.
So that is one of the most incredible things from that book. That is the only one who got out. And Isabella should be celebrated as a character for surviving domestic abuse. And then they turn her kinky.
Yeah.
To me, that's an insult to survivors. And again, just make it a different movie.
Right. And, for some people, it's also kink shaming.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Which
we don't do here.
But if I take it outside the context of the book, I was like, that's a great interpretation of Isabella.
I know. That's the other thing is I struggled so hard with it because I was just like, it's pissing me off and I like it.
Yeah.
It's I have to remain pissed off because the things that were dismissed are too important.
Yeah.
But another part of me was very into it.
Yeah.
Of if you're going to save Heathcliff at every turn, you did it.
Right. Right. Themes that disappear, racism disappears. It's replaced with, oh, Heathcliff, you're so dirty. You're so dirty.
Which is so racist within itself.
Yeah. And, he's described as, they make believe that he's the descendant of a Asian emperor and a princess of, or queen of India or something like that.
Yeah, queen of India and
or prince of India.
It was India and China, essentially.
Right.
It was this. We know what he looks like, which is why when people are saying that's his bastard son, no, it's they already said it's not.
Right.
But we know that it is that Heathcliff is not a white man. He's not even considered they say gypsy. Actually, the term that they call him at one point is a term that is used for sailors who would be sailing in the East Asian area. So they don't even call him really a gypsy. There isn't really a word for Heathcliff. And to then remove that and to other him in these interpretations is just by making him dirtier than everyone else is such a fucking racist and insulting thing to do within itself.
Right. Because it's replacing skin color
with dirty,
which is basically saying we think people with certain skin colors are dirty.
Yeah. That's fine. That covers it.
It's so
he'll understand
so
discrimination
awful.
too, because they he just, he didn't clean up. And then so when he goes away and he comes back, it's oh, don't worry, he's showered and now he's white
clean.
again. He's
Yeah.
white. Don't worry, he can fit in. And it's that is why every interpretation at its core will fail.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. The ones that have white actors will inevitably fail. And for a movie that, even if you're going to remove the concept of race, because that's what, there was no race constraints within this 2026 Wuthering Heights, right?
Right.
Nellie is Asian.
But she's a bastard.
I mean, and then Edgar, who's also bad guy. The fact that the bad guys in that movie were all people of color.
Yeah.
Was let's not do that.
Really, actually, Edgar was who they casted as Edgar would have been the better Heathcliff.
Absolutely.
Right? It would have been more accurate to the book.
Yeah.
But would have maybe been more offensive from, right? It's so hard because I could see how they're wait, we're going to be inclusive. We're going to make the rich man a person of color.
Yeah.
Even though this book is about a poor man who's a person of color.
Yeah.
And we don't want the abusive person to be a person of color.
But it's
but you're still saying bad things.
Yeah. That's the other thing where it's it's a way of justifying a situation where you're just trying to justify choices that come from her own preference. The casting, the director or the screenplay, I don't remember who is the one who casted it, but she said she imagined Jacob Elordi.
Right.
And it's that's who she thinks is hot.
Yeah.
So it's so you're saying your preference for a white man is what will override
the literature.
The literature is your preference for a white man.
Yeah.
I can show you so many other hot non-white men.
Yeah.
They're plentiful. There's so many. Open your eyes.
Moving on from race.
It's I just think that if we all took time, we can all agree that I should marry Michael B. Jordan. I think that's where it lands.
Okay. That's where we land.
I'm on a Michael B. Jordan kick right now. Sorry, take it back. I'm never not. Continue. Wow. What a moment. What an episode. Anyway, here's some ads. I have the most complicated period ritual just to make sure that I am comfortable and I don't have any accidents. And at the end of the day, I'm not comfortable and I still have accidents. I am so happy that I have finally made the jump to Knix because I can sleep so much easier when I'm on my period now with their leak-proof underwear.
Knix, that's Knix, has completely changed how I feel about my period. Their leak-proof technology not only looks and feels like regular underwear, but it washes like regular underwear, and they have a range of absorbencies because if you're like me, my period keeps changing. The heavier days are heavier and shorter, and I don't know what to expect. With up to 6 super tampons worth of absorption, I'm totally covered.
Plus, Knix has patent-bonded edges to prevent side leaks. We all know about those dreaded side leaks. They are the bane of my existence. Their underwear is buttery soft, stretchy fabric and cuts like thong, bikini, boy shorts, high rise, and more. Their thong has seriously changed everything. I wear that on my last day of the period where like I just need something for the gym. Pad doesn't feel comfortable. Tampons don't feel comfortable. Knix, game changer.
I swear by their boy shorts for overnight on heavy nights. I even wore those boy shorts under my dress during my engagement photo shoot. They were lifesavers. Head to Knix.com and you'll see why we love Knix. Use code BookTalk, that's BOOKTALK, for 15% off your order.
Get leak-proof undies, amazing bras, and more. That's KNIX.com using code BookTalk, BOOKTALK. Knix.com.
So one thing that I do think the 2026,
Oh, wait. People are commenting?
yes, Jessica says she's thrilled she stumbled on the live. Eve said, we do such a great literary analysis.
Oh, thank you.
Jessica says, yes, they do. I'm obsessed.
Oh.
Thanks, guys. So one thing I think the 2026 version does well is demonstrates the predicament of Catherine's situation, how
Mhm.
she will always lose in society as a woman
Yeah.
because her family is destitute.
Yeah.
And she has to essentially sell herself
Yeah.
to ensure the livelihood of her family.
Yes.
Now, that's not necessarily a huge theme in the book, but I thought it was a good interpretation that they integrated into this because it explains the conflict in Catherine in a way that is less superficial than I like pretty things.
It definitely showed if Catherine didn't get out, this would be her life.
Right.
And in the book, Catherine doesn't grow up in poverty. It's a
Mhm.
little rougher. It's a little bit more wild.
Right.
You know, like it's the North.
It's less,
Yorkshire. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
maybe
it's like,
less cultured.
yeah, it's like, they're a little bit more rough and tumble, right? But she's not poor.
Right.
And the state loses money because of her brother. And her getting out is at the same time that her brother is starting to
Gamble.
gamble
Mhm.
and, starting to become an alcoholic. Like it's there. Like they're not so limitlessly wealthy, right?
Right.
I think you're right, where this movie is the only one that I've seen where it's like, if she had not left,
Mhm.
that would be her fate.
Yeah.
And it does put things into perspective. I like where one of the times she visits her father and then she runs into Edgar's arms
Mhm.
because she's just really upset. And I felt like that was a very true moment in the sense that, again, Kathy did love Edgar.
Yeah.
She says, both of you broke my heart.
Yeah.
If you didn't love someone, they couldn't have broken your heart.
Mhm. 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 That reminded me of something this one also did really well.
Oh, yes.
Narrative storytelling. Throughout all of these, I think there was some sort of narrator in the Laurence Olivier that just kind of said things to link scenes or link time periods.
Nellie was telling the story
that's right.
to Lockwood.
Nellie does tell the story to Lockwood
Yeah.
in the 1939 version.
And Ralph finds Emily Bronte.
Emily Bronte, portrayed by Sinead O'Connor.
That was so surprising. She's so pretty.
She's so pretty.
Wow.
Is imagining the story of Wuthering Heights when she comes across a dilapidated version of the place.
Mm-hmm.
The 2026 version of Wuthering Heights is the only one that gets Nellie's moral ambiguity correct.
Yeah.
I loved
Yes.
how they handled Nellie's character
Yeah.
in that version. Now, part of it is because in all the other versions, Nellie's an older woman. She's not the same age as Edgar,
Yes.
as Hindley and Catherine.
Yeah.
Whereas in the 2026 version, she does start
Around the same age.
around
So
the same age.
Nellie is the same age as Hindley. And that is like, what, maybe 5 years older?
If you,
7, if I want to be generous.
yeah, I wouldn't even say that.
It's like, it's old enough. You know,
Right,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
old
yeah.
enough. Like, so she's kind of more of a companion. And it is like the age element is so important to the Nellie Dean character and what it means when she's telling her interpretation, because it goes from this older, wise woman with gray hair talking about this beautiful Catherine to someone who's a few years older who never got to have her life, who never got to, go off and get married, who never got to, do whatever she wanted.
Right. Well, and what I liked, so this is an added layer in the 2026 version that was not in the book, but I think was a good layer to add in the movie. Nellie is the illegitimate child of like a duke.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
Right. And so she's putting on airs. She's trying to be a lady because that's technically her pedigree.
Yeah.
But she's been sent away to Wuthering Heights to be out of the way. Right. Yeah. And so her judgment of Catherine
would make sense.
Her desire to stay at Thrushcross Grange, her desire to be on Edgar's good side and tell him Catherine's secrets and betray Catherine is very understandable.
For something to have been introduced, one of the best introductions.
Yeah.
And it is so incredible how every single adaptation, we haven't watched them all because there are an unlimited amount of adaptations, but that's the only one that actually let Nellie Dean be Nellie Dean, who to exist as a character. There aren't a lot of female characters in this. Like there are.
Yeah.
When you think about like men versus women, okay, you have Heathcliff, Edgar, Hareton, Linton, and their father. It kind of goes away pretty quickly. Kathy, Catherine, Isabella, Nellie Dean.
Yeah.
So like 4 and 4, truly.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to mirror each other.
Right.
Right. And Nellie Dean is such a contributing factor to this whole story.
Right. Because the majority of the book is told through her memory.
Yeah, but even the plot itself, like Heathcliff wouldn't have necessarily run off if Nellie Dean hadn't made sure that he was there.
Yeah.
Like she could have warned Catherine at any time and she chose not to. Like,
right.
There are plot-driven moments that is because of Nellie Dean.
Right. And in all the versions but the 2026 version that we've seen, they absolve Nellie Dean of her meddling.
Yeah.
And they kept it here. They kept it in the 2026 version. Of course, the 2026 version is the one that made her a person of color.
Yeah, right. And it's like,
but I understand why they did it.
It is, and it's just so funny how all of this plays out, where Catherine just takes up so much energy and screen time that these other characters do get kicked aside. Like every adaptation doesn't really give the space of how much Heathcliff did pursue Isabella.
Yeah.
In the book, Heathcliff pursued Isabella for a little while. Like he was there going on walks with them on a ramble. They love a ramble. Bitches love rambling. We do. I love to ramble by a bramble. About Ravelly book. Brambling brook.
There you go.
Ramble by a brambling.
Don't.
But like there is a fair amount of courtship that does happen between them.
Yeah.
And that's why when Catherine is getting more and more upset, because it's like, I see what you're doing, and she's calling him out on these things, and it happens for a while. I guess like in the Margot Robbie one, they do show a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
But it's just like another, they gave Isabella more time than other movies, but why'd you have to give her time like that? That's, damn it.
Yeah.
Why'd you have to just make her like that?
A little bit autistic.
A lot of bit autistic.
And kinky.
Like, that's the other thing, is that they made the clearly neurodivergent character extremely kinky, and not just that, but like wanting to be shamed and deprecated. Yeah. It's like, like she's actively wanting these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, why'd you make the autistic person do that?
Right.
Okay. The 6th, romance versus psychological horror. Another thing that a lot of these movies, they either choose to keep it or they don't. And very rarely do they keep it in the sense that like it's interesting or that they even do it well, is the psychological aspect of it. And part of that is Catherine haunting Heathcliff. Sometimes lack thereof haunting. The portrayals of Catherine haunting have not been done well at all.
No, none of them have been done well.
None of them have been done very well. And one, you can only do the haunting if it's second generation. If you're bringing in the second gen involved.
Right.
Two, the haunting aspect is it's not as psychologically intense as the book. I find that none of the movies that I've seen have captured the intense psychological aspect of it because they're focusing on the romance.
Exactly. And that's the thing is the psychological part is supposed to remind us and portray the level of obsession Catherine and Heathcliff have with one another and how toxic that is. In every movie, it's romantic.
I know.
It's romantic that his soul is bound to hers or her soul is bound to his, which is not what it's supposed to be.
The way that they romanticize, like we've seen it in a couple of the movies where he goes, if you're going to blame me for your death, then haunt me. And they always make it sound romantic.
Yep, always.
I will say the Tom Hardy version, he does dig up her grave. And I like how they did it because when you look at her, this happens in the book where years go by, 18 years, he digs up her grave and he was like, oh my God, she looked exactly the same. She hasn't
aged or decayed
or anything.
Aged, of course she hasn't aged. She's dead.
She hasn't aged today. She looks great. In the movie, you see her face perfect and then it switches angles and she's a skeleton. And I think that they did that well of like,
it's all in his head.
It's all in his head.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And you don't really get that because the second you do that, he's no longer a hero.
Right.
He's a creepy man with a skeleton.
Right. And yeah,
we need to not have men with skeletons.
Yeah. I
Less
agree.
Skeleton and men.
The other thing, I will give credit, although I don't feel like the 1992 with Ralph Fiennes followed through very well. There's one moment before Heathcliff runs away when they're supposed to still be young, that after she comes back from staying with the Lintons because she hurt her ankle, Heathcliff says to her, I found a bird's nest and I trapped the younglings under basically a mesh and made them starve to death because I knew you wouldn't ever come back to see them.
Wait, was that in the book or the movie?
It was in the movie.
Dang.
You were reading. Or you were writing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a good creepy.
That was creepy. That was only one time.
I know.
I was like, it's not sufficient. But it was the only like real attempt that I saw to convey the darkness of Heathcliff's affection for Catherine.
Yeah, it's the creepy factor, right?
Right.
I think in the Tom Hardy one, he talks about cursing and he's like really into it, where he's like he manifests something and he like manifests her death and he's like, I did it. And she was like, that's kind of not great.
Yeah.
I think I would love you not to manifest people's death.
Yeah.
I think we get different kinds of crystals. I think that we, if you're going to be a manifesting king, we go somewhere else with this. It's like they do a hint of creepy and they go, but look, it's Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
He's hot.
Yeah. And
real fast, I want to read. Someone is Jess is saying, less men with skeletons, please. And then TJ follows up, or less men. That's the one. I felt that sigh, Amy. That's funny. I want that as a shirt now. Less men with skeletons, please. Okay, so what's the good note that we had?
Casting, shaping, audience, empathy.
You know what? Good job past me.
So, and this is especially true with the whitewashing.
Yeah.
Because no movie adaptation wants to paint Heathcliff as a true villain, they therefore whitewash him.
Yeah.
If he were not whitewashed, everybody else would be on board with him being a villain.
Yeah, you're right. None of the adaptations want to portray him as how he really is, which is not a villain.
Right.
They all try to save him, and they do that by making him white.
Yep.
Which is a bullcockery.
Yep. Chess asks, were you taking notes in the theater? I was not, but I was marking.
I was.
Oh, I wasn't. This is one thing I analyze movies the way I analyze literature in my head. I do. So like
with my brain.
So like the use of the red cloak that Margot Robbie has.
Yeah.
When she chooses to wear it when it's not on her person.
Yeah.
Is super important to her underlying like feelings or repression of her feelings towards Heathcliff.
Okay, why not lean into
villainy? Is that not entertaining? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to clarify. I did not take notes in the sense that I wrote all this down. I looked at online templates. So,
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
I want to clarify of like, I took notes in theater, which in hindsight wasn't great because I couldn't see.
I probably couldn't read.
No, I just kind of was like free writing. I felt like one of those, like in the movies, you just kind of let things take over and just writing. Okay, so yes, why not lean into the villainy? It's more entertaining and more complex. The second that they casted Jacob Elordi is the second that you're shaping audience empathy.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. If you were the casting director and you wanted to explore the moral ambiguity of Heathcliff, what actor would you pick?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know people.
Okay.
I don't need. No, that was a very unfair question. I don't know names.
Just pick. Okay, pick a different movie character you've seen in any movie franchise.
Okay, Jessica, always Theo James, and I was trying hard not to say Theo James. I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, I'm not doing it because Jean Page. There was another one.
TJ says Jean Page.
Yeah, but there was another one.
Realistic
Heathcliff actors.
Well, and I'm just like, who exudes
that man I met in the club that one time? No.
I'm trying to think. Oh, you know who I would love to have do it, although he's not the correct skin color?
Mm-hmm.
Henry Golding.
Who's that?
The Singaporean actor in...
Oh,
that's Seaman.
I know, but I'm like kind of in the same direction.
So do Henry Golding, Crazy Rich Asians.
No, I know who you're talking about. The thing is, like, it is... I don't know. I don't watch TV or movies. I'm a bad person to ask for this.
You know who would be great if he was younger? Idris Elba.
There it is. There, you did it. That's who I want. That is... Oh, that did something to me.
Because he could really play on the moral ambiguity of the character and the darkness of the obsession.
Oh, that was such a good one, Amy. I have such bad news for you. That was such a good... that was such a good call. I'm so proud of you.
Just says, good casting.
Yeah.
And TJ says, I'm a great person to be asked, to be honest. I'm such a movie person. It's like our friends Nicole and Randall. They're movie people.
I'm the worst person to ask for this. But Idris Elba is someone who I think is not afraid to be portrayed in the worst light possible.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he's also charming enough to come back and like have that fake, that facade. Here's the thing. Heathcliff is an abuser.
Yeah.
Who is good at faking it.
Yeah.
Like abusers are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Quote unquote, the best abusers are the ones that go under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
And him and Catherine had a very toxic relationship. They would still like hit each other.
Right.
Growing up and everything. And it was very much something that she walked away from.
Right.
You know?
In a lot of ways, Heathcliff is a sociopath.
Absolutely.
And his love for Catherine is purely about possession.
He sees himself in her.
Yeah.
And possession. He wants to own her and he sees himself. The second that she goes and has different, has different clothes, kind of resembles someone that's not him, he gets mad about it.
Right.
And it's like, because she needs to represent him.
Right. And instead she represents Edgar.
And he wins because Catherine says, I am Heathcliff.
Mm-hmm.
So like he gets that.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to win, which is very upsetting. I haven't read the book or watched any adaptations. I'm really here for the vibes. Oh my God, thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
Make sure you listen to the episodes that come out. You don't have to have read the books to listen to the episodes.
Yeah.
All right. Era-specific romantic framing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You have the wide variety where you have the Laurence Olivier, where they're cheek to cheek. Hold me, my darling. Like, because they both end the same, very similar.
Right.
They end in a similar way where she dies in Heathcliff's arms at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Similar, not I said the same, right? And it's the most like, hold me, Heathcliff. I want to look out the window one last time at the moles with you.
Yeah.
Trying to do transatlantic. And so versus the Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi where they can't stop boning.
Right. On the dining room table, in the carriage.
Out the tree.
Against a tree.
Not mad at it.
No.
Not mad at it. Oh, yes. No, I know who you are.
We know who you are, Jess.
Yeah.
We just saw you in person.
Yeah. We love you. So I think when you look at moral and like the eras of like morality, it tells the story. Like even in the 2009 version or 2006, but the one with Tom Hardy, they have sex. Now it's one scene and like they only have sex once.
Yeah.
But like they show it.
Yeah.
they don't talk about it at all with Ralph Fiennes, right?
No, they don't.
But they kiss.
But they kiss a lot.
So it
they
starts
make out
to
a
progress.
lot.
Yeah, so it starts to progress, right? You have
Yeah.
the Laurence Olivier where they kiss, but like on the side, you know?
Which I think was what was only legally allowed at the
Yeah.
time anyway.
So like, like again, that comes down to the morality of the era, of the decade, the specific romantic framing of the time. Then you go into the 80s. We didn't watch any of the 70s. And then you go into the 80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
Where they're kissing, making out a bunch, like late 2009s, one sex scene, and then now where they're just be boning. What does that say about us as a society? We like sex.
Sex sells.
We like it.
Like,
Yeah.
how else are you going to get people to come to a movie theater to watch
People coming.
a classic novel interpretation? There has to be sex.
Because it's such a dark movie, they try to replace or substitute the quote unquote darkness with sex. As if
like counteract it.
Or like because they're removing some of the darker tones.
Oh, the gothic
tones, they're introducing sex.
Interesting.
Because they're removing the psychological like horror element, because they're removing some of these like the actual dark themes of the story, they introduce sex as if that's something that naturally will make it darker.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's forbidden. Because it's,
I mean, I think because us as a society still hasn't accepted it, because we're still seeing a woman get pleasure. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing where I think that we as a society can't handle women enjoying pleasure, seeking pleasure. Even in this movie, the only pleasure she gets is when she's having an affair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just very interesting with that. Like, one of the substitutions is with that.
No, that's a really good point. And it's about her, but visually it's about him.
Yeah.
Right? What's taking place is Catherine's pleasure, but visually women are feasting upon Heathcliff's physique.
Who is watching this? They're making these movies for women.
Right.
You cannot tell me otherwise. Ever since Ralph Fiennes, it's like, they're making these like, who's going to watch this women? So it is a portrayal of women trying to show women's sexuality, and they're embracing it. Is like, we're going to give the women what they want. That's Ralph Fiennes. That's Tom Hardy. That's Jacob Elordi. And we're going to show them in these like romantic ways. And like you said, feasting upon Catherine when that's not it.
Right.
Which takes away, I think by doing that, it undermines what women are capable of enjoying. By doing that, by focusing and only allowing these hot Heathcliffs, of only allowing these romantic stories, it's taking away what society is saying that women are capable of enjoying.
Right. Because somehow women are not capable of enjoying Gothic literature, psychological horror.
Like a story that doesn't end well,
Right. Whereas I would kill
to
have something to like have a movie that does that well.
Yeah, absolutely. Touch some grass, stretch, and listen to this ad break. We are going to so many book conventions the next couple months, and do I need a whole new wardrobe?
I think so, because I'm not prepared for weather in New York.
Honestly, I am not about the fast fashion. I am all about Quince and how they prefer quality over quantity.
Quince makes high-quality wardrobe staples using premium fabrics, like 100% silk and organic cotton.
They even have a lightweight cotton cashmere sweater that's perfect for the changing seasons, especially in New York. And they have amazing spring colors, so I'll be able to be very versatile with all of the cute sweaters they have.
Quince clothing is consistently rated 4.5 to 5 stars by thousands of customers. Real people wearing these pieces every day actually love them. And honestly, they're better than some of my favorite expensive brands.
I personally love my boyfriend sweater that I got last year, and I still wear it all the time. And I'm sad that it's going to be warm, so I guess I'm going to have to find another sweater.
Stop waiting to build the wardrobe you actually want. You don't need a closet full of options. You just need pieces that work for you.
Right now, go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping and 365-day returns.
That's a full year to wear it and love it. And you will.
Quince is now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last.
Go to QUINCE.com/BookTok, BOOKTALK, for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/BookTok. Struggling to find the right metabolic wellness support, even when you're doing everything right, has been one of the most frustrating things for me in my health journey.
I've tried other metabolic wellness support providers, and I often feel rejected rather than supported by the process.
That's because Brello is focused on long-term health, longevity, and performance, not quick fixes.
Brello is designed for people who want a more sustainable approach to their metabolic wellness support. Their support helps you focus on habits, education, and structure alongside provider oversight.
Getting my GLP-1 through Brello has been so easy. They make it so effortless, and they provide all the support I need through their app.
Their app is one of a kind in my book because it allows you to track progress, manage reminders, and stay on top of renewals. And if you're like me, managing the renewals is the hardest part.
Everything is managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and medications are delivered to your door. They're so transparent with their pricing with one flat monthly cost. Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
Any information provided is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical consultation, diagnosis, or treatment. All patients must consult with a healthcare provider prior to the prescription or dispensing of any medication, which will be done only pursuant to a valid prescription. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved, and the FDA does not evaluate their safety, effectiveness, or quality. Patients are encouraged to discuss the risks, benefits, and appropriateness of any medications, including compounded products, with their healthcare provider before use.
Jess asks, are you doing a podcast episode or a Substack article? We actually, Jess, you might have missed the announcement.
We are starting a new sub-series.
It's called Academia Unlocked, and this is episode 3, discussing Wuthering Heights.
The first episode comes out March 19th.
Where we break down Wuthering Heights at like a high school literacy level.
And then episode 2 is on a college level.
College analysis, like a seminar.
Then we have books and media,
which is what we're doing right now.
And then in the fourth book, the fourth episode's kind of like a general conversation.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out.
Yeah, either it'll be like a listener thoughts or, I mean, I bet we could survey people and say, what did you think of the Wuthering Heights movie?
Yeah. Or just, what are your thoughts on Wuthering Heights? And they can say movie or otherwise.
Yeah.
And then ideally in the future, it'd be nice to like get experts.
Yeah. Yeah. Or fellow authors who love these books. And
do we know anyone who like loves Pride and Prejudice?
Other than us?
We'll see. We'll do a poll.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that.
Yeah. Okay. So now I think to the most important adaptation is Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights. Why? Not a clue. What does she do with this? Not entirely sure. That's what you mentioned briefly at Romantasy BookCon. Yep.
Yes, that is correct.
Yep. I remember seeing this in college. Were we in the same class?
No.
The first time I saw it was in one of my college classes, and the professor was like, I'm going to play something special for you guys. And I was like, oh my God, I need this song injected to me. Which is why what's funny is that when Kate Bush's Running Up the Hill became popular because of Stranger Things, and everyone was like, she's so great. I'm like, she is, but have you heard?
But have you heard Wuthering Heights?
Have you heard of Wuthering Heights? Because that's a different take.
Not everything's a bop.
Running Up the Hill has nothing on Wuthering Heights. It's just, I would love it where it's like I'm a side character in that movie and like, Max is running, trying to get out with like running up the hill and then pan to the side. Wuthering. And I'm in the corner. Vecna's like, get out of my head, bitch. And I'm like, no, it's me, Kathy. I'm coming. He's like, please stop singing this song. I don't want you here anymore.
That's how you destroy Vecna.
Is you played the wrong Kate Bush song.
Yeah.
If Vecna had to hear Wuthering Heights play over and over again, I think they could have won a long time ago.
Really. Just do some somersaults cartwheels.
It's like the choreography is quite.
It was
quite
an
good.
acid trip.
Side note, Jack, your nails are fire. Thank you. They quite literally are flames.
Yeah.
I did not look up why the hell she did this. Now, let's talk about the song. The song is told from dead Catherine's perspective, from her ghost perspective. Unique. I love it. What a choice.
Yeah.
What a choice to sit here and say, I'm going to write a Wuthering Heights song from that bitch's perspective, from that ghost.
I will say, though, one thing it does well is capture the obsession.
Better than anything else.
Better than the 2-hour-long movies that we watched.
Because at the end of the day, as much as we're like hyping up Catherine of being a hero, she is just as obsessed with Heathcliff.
And she's just as problematic.
She killed herself off because of it, out of spite.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, like, you know, we're sitting here being like, our girl Kathy, she made and, you know, she made the best choice that she could. The thing is, no one's supposed to be morally good in this story.
Yeah.
Catherine is not morally good. And Wuthering Heights, the song, is the only one that captures her toxicity. And arguably, there were moments when Margot Robbie's portrayal where I was like, ooh, I see it. Like,
yeah, I actually genuinely thought, I think Margot Robbie was portraying a young 20-something, and she's not young 20-something, but that's a Hollywood problem.
Yeah.
And I actually respect
oh, yeah.
the fact that
They
she
casted her.
She went ahead and did it.
But her acting of it was very...
She did a really good
She
job.
did a great job portraying Catherine.
Yeah.
You know that moment in the rain when Heathcliff holds his hand over her face? Apparently, Jacob did that on his own during rehearsal.
Oh, yeah.
And then the director was like, yes, we're going to do that.
Yeah, I believe it.
I will say it's stuff like that where I was like, yes. But again, what are you doing with it? But yeah, I think that, I mean, the lyrics are so creepy and obsessive.
Yeah. Would you like to read some of them?
I should. You had a temper like my jealousy, too hot, too greedy. How could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you. I loved you. Bad dreams in the night. They told me I was going to lose the fight. Leave behind my wuthering heights. Oh my God. It gets dark. It gets lonely on the other side from you. I pine a lot. I find you a lot. Falls through without you. I mean, the first early lines of you had a temper like my jealousy, too hot, too greedy. Catherine's not perfect. Like, I know we talked about how, you know, like, I will defend a female character as much as I can, but like, she's not good.
No
one's
not.
good. And that song captured it. I think other than the Margot Robbie one, there's not a single movie that made her remotely complex.
Agreed.
None of the adaptations I watched. Now, however, we have not discussed the 2002 MTV version musical.
Yeah, I did not watch that.
Barely did. They did not make her complex either. There was a lot of making out in that one too. A lot of sex in that one. It was MTV. Again, made for the audience.
2002.
Made for the cultural audience. And it was spot on. The fashion. But like even that one, none of them allow Catherine to be a hint of what she is in the book, because that would then be too complicated of a character that either, and I don't want to say like women can't portray it or the, film just can't get it. Because the moment you have her as complicated, you need Heathcliff to counteract that complication.
Right. And people aren't willing to make Heathcliff complicated because they want to make him likable.
Exactly. So if you make him likable, then you have to make Catherine likable.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to sit there and say, we are the same, I am Heathcliff, you can't have her be wacko bonkers. And then he's just like this really stoic guy.
Yeah.
So which is a shame, because the second you're trying to save the man, you really destroy this female character.
Yeah. You rob the female character of her character.
Yeah. All right. Segment 5, comparative synthesis. Comparative literature at its core. This is all right.
Painful.
This is painful.
For Jack.
I'm actually going to potentially look into my old professor and see if he could join.
I feel like we just did this.
We did. So comparative literature is kind of what we've been doing. You're comparing patterns, right? So we've talked about the audience and what they were expecting in each era and each time, like when it was made. What I find about the Laurence Olivier version is that is the most recent to when the book was written.
Yeah, the closest in time period.
Yes, because there's only a 93-year difference. It's the equivalent if we were to do a movie on 1933.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
1933.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, I mean, you have people within living memory with it.
Right.
You know, like they'd be old, but it's, it's just interesting where you have that. And then the fact that TV can get a lot more versus film.
Mhm.
In film, a lot of times, not every time, but they sacrifice the second generation in order to get that.
Which sacrifices generational trauma themes.
Yep.
And healing themes, quite frankly.
And the morality of the era dictates the morality of the characters and what we're going to see. I think that it speaks volumes that the morality of today is both, in the 2026 version, is both hyper aware of sex and trying to make it seem extreme and creepy, while at the same time saving a man.
Yeah.
Right? It over glorifies sex in a way that's like, we're going to make this shocking. And it doesn't really focus around her pleasure. I mean, it does, but like not enough. It's more about the shock factor.
And what's terrible, it was written by a woman, it was directed by a woman, it was produced by a woman.
Yeah.
And they still focused on saving the man.
Yes. They saved Heathcliff. Catherine was not saved. Again, she out of all of the adaptations, she's the most complex of the Catherines.
Yeah, which I will give it credit.
I will absolutely give it credit. But then, like we were saying, you can't have a complex Catherine and have a hero Heathcliff.
No.
The two do not make sense. And honestly, a lot of people said that there wasn't enough chemistry between the two. I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason, if anyone felt like there was a lack of chemistry, is because they are not the same. And Catherine and Heathcliff are meant to be the same.
Yeah.
So you're either going to have a super redeemed Catherine or a just as accurate Heathcliff.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that.
Right.
And what's the moral essence of today is saving and justifying men.
Yeah.
And I think that's an unfortunate part of this adaptation.
Yep.
So that's comparative literature. Okay, so segment 6, cultural meaning and why adaptations change, cultural discomfort and moral ambiguous love. Oh, interesting. The rise of dark romance narratives. I feel like we actually could be in a great era to tackle a dark romance. The problem is we make it a romance.
Right.
Actually,
and so the character has to be saved.
I take it all back. I think this is the worst time to make a movie on this.
Right.
Because a lot of literature, romantic, smutty smut, is based on dark romance. And even if it's smut or not smut, like it's just the concept of a dark romance is prevalent in a lot of books and movies and everything today, which is why we're expecting romance. Oh, no.
You struggling there?
Yeah. Do you see what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
What does it say? Read it for them.
You've had me at trigger warning.
Yeah.
Hair pulling is a trigger warning.
I was like, why are you?
I'm sorry, I didn't. I think one thing that comes across loud and clear, and I know we've discussed it already, actually in all of them, each movie, and I would even say maybe for the Ralph Fiennes one, each needs clarity on how to feel about Heathcliff. And Heathcliff is not truly terrible in all of them.
Another reason why every single movie has failed and will continue to fail is because the book is not meant for anyone to feel comfy or good.
Right.
The book is meant for us to all walk away saying, I don't know if these characters are good or not.
Right.
I don't know who I should side with.
Right.
I know Heathcliff is shit, but Catherine wasn't great.
Yeah.
And Linton is horrible.
Right.
And like Kathy and Hareton were kind of mean to each other too. You know what I mean?
Very
like
mean to each other.
Everyone is still like, when you are done reading Wuthering Heights, you are not meant to have any emotional clarity.
Yeah.
And every single movie, and this is just part of Hollywood.
Yeah.
You need a resolution, you need emotional clarity, and none of them, and maybe there are movies that do that, but not quote unquote romantic movies.
The only movie I can think of that does in the movie what Wuthering Heights as a book did is The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. That is the only movie where it's moral ambiguity across the board. You are uncomfortable across the board.
Yeah.
You have moments of empathy and then moments of horror.
I like that. I mean, it's funny. It's a great example of
male online red pill culture
Mm-hmm.
and the male loneliness epidemic,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And yeah, where it's kind of like you would automatically have people going in and be like, yeah, Joker. And then by the end, you're like, no, Joker.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Except for the red pill boys, then they still come out. But
Oh, another one that does it really well, which is also red pill, Adolescence. The miniseries?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that one did great because, I mean, the psychologist I did feel for. But yeah, it's hard to imagine. You guys can think at home. And if you think about it, tell us in the Spotify comments or DM us if you don't listen on Spotify. Just think of a movie where like everyone walks away not great. Like
Right.
truly.
You don't really like any of them.
Yeah. And those aren't popular.
No.
Like that type of movie is not popular. And when you do it, you really have to have a lot more oomph behind it. And
Yeah.
like imagine doing that with a book that doesn't have a climax.
Yeah.
It's not an interesting story to see visually.
Yeah.
Wuthering Heights ends very anticlimactically, and that is part of the point.
Yeah.
And when you have a sad love story to it, suddenly like the climax is that Catherine dies and they choose to end it there because a woman's death is easier to have as a sensation rather than an underwhelming man's death.
That hit something.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it did. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. No. I'm still processing.
Yeah. Go into that. Why is it that all these movies end with Catherine dying? It's because one, they don't want to get into the second generation, but because they deem her death more interesting than they do the man's death.
Right. What is that?
I'll let you process that while I take a sip. Everyone, take a sip.
And in some ways, Heathcliff is the hero by getting to live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And in many ways, it also sends maybe a subliminal message that unruly women are the bane of men's existence.
Not only does he get to be the hero, he gets to be the martyr.
Yes.
And in Emily Bronte, in the novel, you could almost view it as he's the martyr because he's going to carry her ghost and asking her to haunt him, but he's not a martyr.
He's
like,
not.
That's the thing, right? In that these movies turn him into a martyr.
And they make Catherine spiteful, but the true spiteful one is Heathcliff.
Yeah.
And Heathcliff in the movies, any movie, is not spiteful.
None. He condemns her soul.
Yeah.
To walk the earth with him. And every one of these movies has them dying and living on with each other in the other world.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They get like several of these movies we have watched. They go hand in hand into the afterlife.
Yep.
And it's this romantic, like, wow, they get to be with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And no.
Don't want it. They don't deserve that.
No, they do not deserve it.
Go spend eternity in purgatory.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but that's the thing, right? Is like, it's a mutual spitefulness.
Mm-hmm.
She died in spite of these two men who she loved.
Yeah.
And then he condemned her soul out of spite. And then she didn't see him out of spite. Like,
yeah,
it's all of these like double spiteful things.
Yeah.
And we just turn it into like, but he's such a martyr. Even when he's doing all these horrible things, at the very end, when okay, so in these movies, when you get the Gen 2, he's treating the next generation horribly. He's, I'm angry. Ralph Fiennes is a great example about this.
Mm-hmm.
The second he starts seeing her ghost, he gets nice.
Yeah.
He's suddenly kind. And then we forgive him
because
he gets to live happily ever after with Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the ways that he abused young Kathy and Hareton are forgiven because suddenly he is the romantic hero again.
Yeah. You can explain away and forgive his abuse because he was just sad and lonely.
Yeah. And that's not what Bronte wanted. Like,
nope.
So much so that we don't even see his death.
Yeah.
No one even, it's very much like, no one mourns the wicked. Like, it's giving that. Like, he comes back, like, his anticlimactic death is part of the point.
Right.
That no one does anything for him.
Yeah, no one cares.
People, the world was ruined when Catherine died. Like, when he dies, it was like nothing, like, it sucks. Or no, not sucks. Everyone's like, yeah, cool. We can like go live our life. And
we're no longer prisoner to this man.
The anticlimactic is part of the story.
Yeah.
Loving the soundtrack. Thank you. So I enjoyed this segment. This is the first time we've done a books and media analysis of it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it more than I was expecting. I mean, I always expect good times, but like I enjoyed it in the sense I'm walking away more upset.
More upset with Hollywood.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It just is what it is. I think that's why when we have books like Pride and Prejudice and those adaptations, it's so much easier because you're getting what you're getting. We're getting a love story.
Yep.
We're excited for a love story. And I'm excited for when we cover Pride and Prejudice in the next book.
Yep. That is our next segment.
Yeah. I mean, we have one more episode where we talk to
what should we call it? That's our next
arc
miniseries.
Our next
arc makes sense.
There's another word. You know what? That's a future us.
That is a future us thing.
When you do Pride and Prejudice, are you
adding Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? Hell yeah. I have the DVD of that.
We have our assignments. So we've both read Pride and Prejudice. I read it recently. Amy's reading it now. I then proceeded to read six or seven adaptations or like variations of it. So like my brain is quite full of them. And then now we'll probably watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies if you don't watch it with Emma first. That'd be a cute date movie.
That would be fun.
You too. And then I'm watching the Mormon version. Amy's going to watch the Bollywood version. And if there's any other adaptations, I might try to sneak in. Yeah. If you do Zombies, I'll try to find one more.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Sounds good. Yeah. And we've seen the 2005 Keira Knightley and the 90s BBC version so many times.
I've watched both recently. It's both very recently.
I could recite those by heart. Yeah. Thank you for listening to this episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. Next week, we'll be discussing general thoughts about Wuthering Heights.
If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps other readers find us. And of course, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode. Share your comments through our forum at booktalkforbooktalk.com, and we might feature your feedback in a future mini episode or in a Patreon exclusive episode.
For merch and more ways to support the show, head to booktalkforbooktalk.com. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the handle BookTalkForBookTalk. And don't forget to join us by subscribing to the Subtext Society Journal.substack.com to get more insights into the romantasy and romance genres. Bye.
We're done. We love you guys. Bye.
I'm preparing to get married, which means I'm thinking a lot about what it means to merge finances. And I think I'm going with Chime.
Chime isn't just another banking app. They unlock smarter banking for everyday people with products like MyPay, giving you access to up to $500 of your paycheck anytime and getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Some of these old banks still don't do this.
We're at Romantasy BookCon, and I don't get paid for another 2 days. I could really use Chime right now.
I don't get paid for another 2 days too. I'm really sad. It's not stopping me from buying everything, but it is also making me want to switch to Chime.
Because they don't have overdraft fees, minimum balance fees, or monthly fees.
You can also earn up to 3% APY on savings. That's 7 times higher than a traditional bank.
It's also rated 5 stars by USA Today for customer service because they have real humans 24/7.
And with the Chime card, it's the new way to build credit history with your own money and get rewarded every single day.
There's no annual fees, no interest, and no strings attached. Who can resist that?
Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today.
It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head to chime.com/booktalk. That's chime.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/fees info. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.
I have the most complicated period ritual just to make sure that I am comfortable and I don't have any accidents. And at the end of the day, I'm not comfortable and I still still have accidents. I am so happy that I have finally made the jump to Knix because I can sleep so much easier when I'm on my period now with their leak-proof underwear.
Knix, that's Knix, has completely changed how I feel about my period. Their leak-proof technology not only looks and feels like regular underwear, but it washes like regular underwear, and they have a range of absorbencies because if you're like me, my period keeps changing. The heavier days are heavier and shorter, and I don't know what to expect. With up to 6 super tampons worth of absorption, I'm totally covered.
Plus, Knix has patent-bonded edges to prevent side leaks. We all know about those dreaded side leaks. They are the bane of my existence. Their underwear is buttery soft, stretchy fabric and cuts like thong, bikini, boy shorts, high rise, and more. Their thong has seriously changed everything. I wear that on my last day of the period where I just need something for the gym. Pad doesn't feel comfortable. Tampons don't feel comfortable. Knix, game changer.
I swear by their boy shorts for overnight on heavy nights. I even wore those boy shorts under my dress during my engagement photo shoot. They were lifesavers. Head to Knix.com and you'll see why we love Knix. Use code BookTalk, that's BOOKTALK, for 15% off your order.
Get leak-proof undies, amazing bras, and more. That's KNIX.com using code BookTalk, BOOKTALK, Knix.com. We are going to so many book conventions the next couple months, and do I need a whole new wardrobe?
I think so, because I'm not prepared for weather in New York.
Honestly, I am not about the fast fashion. I am all about Quince and how they prefer quality over quantity.
Quince makes high-quality wardrobe staples using premium fabrics like 100% silk and organic cotton.
They even have a lightweight cotton cashmere sweater that's perfect for the changing seasons, especially in New York. And they have amazing spring colors, so I'll be able to be very versatile with all of the cute sweaters they have.
Quince clothing is consistently rated 4.5 to 5 stars by thousands of customers. Real people wearing these pieces every day actually love them. And honestly, they're better than some of my favorite expensive brands.
I personally love my boyfriend sweater that I got last year, and I still wear it all the time. And I'm sad that it's going to be warm, so I guess I'm going to have to find another sweater.
Stop waiting to build the wardrobe you actually want. You don't need a closet full of options. You just need pieces that work for you.
Right now, go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping and 365-day returns.
That's a full year to wear it and love it. And you will.
Quince is now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last.
Go to quince.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk. Struggling to find the right metabolic wellness support, even when you're doing everything right, has been one of the most frustrating things for me in my health journey.
I've tried other metabolic wellness support providers, and I often feel rejected rather than supported by the process.
That's because Brello is focused on long-term health, longevity, and performance, not quick fixes.
Brello is designed for people who want a more sustainable approach to their metabolic wellness support. Their support helps you focus on habits, education, and structure alongside provider oversight.
Getting my GLP-1 through Brello has been so easy. They make it so effortless, and they provide all the support I need through their app.
Their app is one of a kind in my book because it allows you to track progress, manage reminders, and stay on top of renewals. And if you're like me, managing the renewals is the hardest part.
Everything is managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and medications are delivered to your door. They're so transparent with their pricing with one flat monthly cost. Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
Any information provided is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical consultation, diagnosis, or treatment. All patients must consult with a healthcare provider prior to the prescription or dispensing of any medication, which will be done only pursuant to a valid prescription. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved, and the FDA does not evaluate their safety, effectiveness, or quality. Patients are encouraged to discuss the risks, benefits, and appropriateness of any medications, including compounded products, with their healthcare provider before use.
Sleep is important to everyone, but I am bipolar, and sleep is one of the most important things that I can do to protect not just my mental health, but my physical health. I always strive to get around 8 hours of sleep a night. Honestly, I have to shoot from 8 to 10 hours a night. And it is so important for me to know that everything in my body is helping me get that balanced sleep that I really need.
For me, the big shift was realizing that sleep isn't just about hours. It's the foundation for everything: performance, mood, focus, recovery, even how you age.
The part that surprised me is that you can't fully understand your sleep without looking at your lab tests. If your sleep is off, your results will likely show it with elevated inflammation and shifts in glucose and cholesterol. And when sleep improves, that's going to show too.
That's what I appreciate about Function. It gives you real data so you know what's happening inside your body. Sleep isn't just a habit, it's biology. And if you want to look deeper to see whether you're improving it or troubleshooting how to improve it, you have to measure it.
I have my first appointment with Function to get my blood drawn for next week. What I did appreciate about it, though, is that they are making sure that it's coordinated around my period. They weren't just like, come here, give us blood. It was like, hey, let's make sure you get the best results possible.
Be like Jack and own your health. Start by understanding what's happening beneath the surface.
Function gives you access to 160 plus lab tests each year, including advanced markers for heart health, inflammation, stress, hormones, toxins, and more for $365 a year.
Learn more and join Function using our link. Visit www.functionhealth.com/booktalk or use gift code BookTalk25, that's BOOKTALK 25, for a $25 credit toward your membership.